How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. This is Eddie Star Tarot. For those that are returning, for those that are new, welcome to my channel as well. You guys, today is, I know it's Sunday, I apologize. There's two zodiacs. It was yours, Scorpio, and Cancers. So I will get you guys first next Friday. With that being said, you guys, this is a Spiritual Friday reading. And in these series, you guys, I talk about the ascension process. I'll pinpoint one specific part of, because ascension process is many different parts, right? I'm going to pinpoint, and I'm going to utilize a story that I went through specifically. So I'll give you my life examples, and then we'll get into two oracles. And it usually piggybacks off of the story that I'm saying. Spirit's pretty good about that. So we have White Light Oracle, and it's what you guys, Scorpios, need to deal with specifically. Then we have the Secret Language of Light. So let me adjust myself. So today, you guys, we're going to specifically, okay, with that being said too, you guys, check it out. So maybe you guys already passed this portion within like the ascension process. Everything that I say, you guys, is in activation. Everything that I say, the concepts, this is why I always say, it's like, I'll go through a reading even if it's not resonating at first, because at some point there's going to be something that resonates with it, right? And if it's a certain day of the reading, that's why I don't like putting dates on my readings anymore, because I don't want you to get accustomed to it's Friday, so I need to look up my reading on Friday, right? Or it's Tuesday the 1st, so I need to go look up that reading. Or I can't look at it anymore because it's not the 1st. You guys have to use your intuition and discernment. Everything, all information is accessible. It's accessible, and you don't have to read. I mean, obviously, ideally you do, but information is in the ethers, and these downloads come through. I believe in that because my job entails that, right? Messages encoded, looking at things in a deeper level, a different aspect. And I say all that, you guys, because if you there's going to be something in here that you need. You're on this video for a reason, right? I'm not trying to keep you on my channel. I'm just trying to tell you, it's like there's going to be information that you need, because a lot of the times, and that's what I was going to say, a lot of the times I try to skip a step or go ahead, and I always get brought back to a certain step, or get brought to something that I need to pay attention to, because if I go 2 steps ahead and I miss something, it's going to come up later on, and Spirit knows that. So it might show up that way for you guys. So Scorpios, today we're going to talk about spiritually coming out, standing in your own authenticity, and then, or your truth, honoring yourself, honoring your process, and then judgment. So you guys, for those of you that are new, I know a lot of the Scorpios on my channel, you guys already know my story. I said it last week. And often, you know, I know that there's returning subscribers, so you guys kind of got the gist of it. You guys, I went through I'm going through the recovery process, right? So I've dealt with alcoholism and drug addiction. So when I got sober 2 years ago, I had a spiritual awakening at my 6-month mark, and that's when I felt like everything changed for me, right? But that was when I decided to get sober. That's when I came into this place of acceptance of who I was. I didn't know exactly who I was or what was ahead of me, but I finally got the picture of I needed to end a cycle. And that cycle for me, and you guys, it all shows up differently for everyone, but the recovery process shows up for a lot of us light workers, a lot of us Scorpios. Maybe you're dealing with recovery or codependency in some form, right? It says, I talk about my major cycles so you guys can get an understanding of it, but you have to remember, just apply your story to what I'm saying, right? Maybe it's you're codependent on bad relationships, you're codependent on your mother, your father, you're codependent on money, you're codependent on shopping, you're codependent on freaking self-pleasure, maybe you're codependent on pornography. It just depends, right? It shows up for all of us, manifests differently, and it goes off of the experiences that you've had in your life, right? Everyone's got a different story, everyone's got their own jam to deal with, but for me, the cycle lasted from the ages of 15 years old all the way to the age of 33. And you guys, if I took the drink today, if I had a beer, one beer, I'd be back in the cycle. And I promise you that cycle would last for a long time before I got back here. So there is no option anymore about going back. That's why I have to nourish my soul on a daily basis. With all that being said, if you guys are struggling with recovery and addiction, that needs to be addressed before you can walk the path. It goes without saying, you guys. So when I started to honor my process, and all these subjects kind of just interweave with each other. So I call it, you guys, we go through this phase where we walk the fence. And when we're walking this fence, you guys, we are, what we're really doing is trying to hide away from people that we know, right? Because I don't want them to know that I'm a chakra healer. I don't want them to know that I'm a Reiki healer. I don't want them to know that I can hear them, right? Or I can read their body language. I know when they're lying to me, right? Like, but you've had that power your whole life, right? But now you're putting attention to it, and now you're putting wisdom to back it, right? It's like how money's backed with gold. The money is like that you thought, wait a minute, I'm kind of picking up on their wavelength, right? Their vibes. It isn't good. Or maybe it's like, and now you guys are starting to get wisdom and knowledge, right? I call that as like when you start listening to the codex, the universal codex. That is the information or communication that the universe has for us. Universe could be called God. Ideally, it's God, but I mean, maybe you're just at universe right now. Maybe you're just at the source. Hey, no matter how it is, I don't judge you. I just want to get you through this process. Eventually, we're going to have to go back to God, right? But we'll get you there. We'll get you there. All right, guys. So Scorpios, check it out. So you're teetering on two sides. And I call this, you guys, and I'm going to go back to an example I had before. We're on this path right now. And this shows up in many ways, you guys. For me, the cycle before, and I'll get back to this, that cycle of addiction. I would get to this, and I say cycles, and I'll get to this in another day about just cycle work. Everything goes in a circle. Everything in the universe is circular, right? It's going to start at a point, it's going to go around, and it's going to come back and meet at that same point. I don't care what you're doing, that is the case. I promise you. Pay attention to this. So for me, it was addiction and alcoholism. I would go through, and it would last anywhere from a week, a day, a year, 2 years, 3 years. But it was because I wasn't within my mind space very often. The alcohol would help me to get rid of the pain, right? But what it was also doing is I was trying to use it as medicine, and I can't sustain it for too long without going a little nuts, without hurting people, or without hurting myself, shit like that, right? The normal alcoholic thing to do. And so I would go around in a cycle no matter how long it took, and then I would come back to center point again. And that is this. I would come back to the fork in the road. Do I choose to go back to that cycle? And most often I did. Or I choose this new path. The same thing as your spirituality, you guys. You have a choice. And I say it like this. I would like you guys to go on this path of ascension, this path of spiritual awakening, this path of enlightenment, and honoring yourself. And I'm going to explain to you what that means. Go on this path, right? I edge you and implore you to. But maybe you're going to have to go through the cycle of trying to fit in again. Maybe you're going to try to not tell people that you have these gifts. And that's not honoring yourself. Maybe you need to want to go back because you don't want to look weird. Whatever the fear is, whatever that needs to be said, I say don't stay in the middle, because the middle is the hardest position to be in, because you're going to drain yourself. It's going to feel terrible. I would tell you, just go back into that old cycle. And you're probably like, what are you talking about? Why would I do that? You're going to do it anyways, right? You got to make a decision. Just don't stay in the middle. Because I'll tell you this, have you ever heard, I like this option. I used to be super afraid of failure. And it shows up in my life a lot of the times, but failure, we used to meet this idea that failure is not an option. Failure should be an option. It should be taught is that you're going to fail, and that failure is an option. But what are you going to do after that failure? Failure is a teacher. Most of the times they say it's like it takes us 1,000, maybe even 2 million times to do something, and finally we're going to get it. But you just need that one shot to get it, right? Or if you're shooting for something, a dream, you just need one person to open the door for you, and then you're in, right? So for me, like I told you before, maybe you need to try it out again and go back into that old cycle and see if the people are going to accept you, if you can fit in. I'm going to let you know the short version to that answer is that you're going to come to the terms of saying, you know what, I'm different. I've always been different, but that's not a bad thing. You're meant to be different. You're meant to shine your light. You're meant to honor your gifts, your abilities, because it's in tandem with what you're supposed to do here. You have a life purpose. You are chosen, baby girl, baby boy, Scorpios. You got something to do here. I wouldn't say waste your time, but this path, it's just for me, you guys. I wish I got it because I had this awakening a long time ago, man. I remember in my vehicle when I was in the military, and I just kept looking outside the window and thinking to myself, wait a minute, man, something just don't feel right. Like, why don't I feel like I belong? And like everything was okay, right? Like I had a job, it was sustainable. I was good at my job. I had my kids and wife at that time period, and I just felt miserable. And I would say, dude, this place feels fake. Because it is. You guys, that's the thing, is when we wake up, we realize that there's a lot of stuff here that it's not, I wasn't meant to be in the system, right? And that's what you're going to end up finding out. But that's a future story. Let's get back to this riding the fence of here of spirituality. Oftentimes, I say this, you guys. When you stand in your own authenticity, it's going to irritate people. Because and especially the people that are around you right now. This is how it shows up. You guys, when I finally made the decision that I'm going to be spiritual, I'm going to walk this path. Because before it wasn't okay if I was an alcoholic, right? That was the first cycle that everyone had their shit on me, right? This is the stuff that they exploit, gaslight me, and say shit like that, right? Like, you're an alcoholic. Why do you always drink? Why aren't you there for people? Blah, 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 blah. Yeah, I hear you, right? And they were right to say all that stuff. And then it got to the point where I got sober, and then it turned into something different. Why? Well, you think you're better? You use sobriety as a crutch. Like, damn, dude, there's no winning with you people, right? That's how you're going to understand with people, right? It's going to show up differently for everybody, though. Maybe you're not an alcoholic. Maybe you're just going to stand in your power. Maybe you've been a little different and people gaslight you for being a little different, right? And so I already know, Scorpios, if you're attracted to this reading, you're resonating with this on some deep level, right? Your biggest fear is the fact that you don't want to be judged. Your biggest fear is that you want to be accepted, but the fact is that you haven't been accepted. And that's what I'm trying to shine the light on. So, and this is the way that I'm going to teach you how to do this. There are people around you. It's either your lovers, and I just need you I need you to accept these things. Figure out what cycles you're in. I just explained you some of my cycles, right? See what type of cycles that you're in. Also, see if those cycles are in different relationships. And I promise you, if it's in one relationship, it's going to be in another. You just gotta start paying attention to it. Is your girlfriend or your boyfriend similar to your mom or your dad? Is your mom and your dad similar to your brother? Right? We all have different relationships. One of the ways that I figured out is when you stand in your own authenticity, you're gonna meet with depression. You're gonna meet with people who are not gonna agree with your ideas, your principles, especially if you grew up in my house, right? I grew up in a house where they said that they were religious, right? And so we had that heavy programming. So these cards, reading cards, is not an option in a Christian home, which is interesting because it's just a damn piece of paper, right? So for me, I already knew what the backlash was going to be. Oh, you're speaking with the devil. You're doing this, right? You know the game plan. Or who do you think you are, a spiritual guru? Like, what are you freaking Gandhi? Who do you think you are, right? It's like they'll figure out a way to tell you stuff like that. So this is how I tell you this. Start putting up boundaries. You need to start learning certain stuff about relationships. What is gaslighting? What is gang stalking? What is breadcrumbing? What is a narcissist? What is an empath and narcissist relationship? What is a codependency relationship? What is codependent? Because I promise you, Scorpios, you're codependent on something, whether you know it or not. And I know that this information is not meant to be triggering. It's meant to shine a light. If you can't, look at, I'm going to tell you like this. It's like, just because we can't see these mental or this spiritual sicknesses that we have, or we're not willing to look at them, doesn't mean that other people can't see them. If I was in a room with you, Scorpio, I would be able to see your flaws without you saying much. I can see with your body language. I can see with your aura. And when you start talking, forget it. I'll know it like that. I'll be able to profile it easily. And the reason why, you guys, is because I've gone through it. A lot of the times we become strong. I can use this power to hinder people. You know what I mean? But I don't want to do that. I want to help people. We have to make sure that we use these powers to aid humanity. That's what I'm trying to that's what God wants you to do as well. Walk you through it so you can help other people. I can spot someone who needs help. Now, I know better now not to just go up and help anybody, because not everyone wants it, right? And that goes back to that codependent relationship. You have to learn all these aspects of the ascension process. So right now, I need you to learn who is for you and who is not for you. I call this the two-wave process. The first wave is going to fall away when you start making healthy boundaries. When you say the word boundaries to people, like when I started making boundaries for parents, they didn't like that shit. I'm a parent. You don't make a boundary for me. I'm 33 years old, 34 years old, 35 years old. I'm going to make a boundary for you. You can't talk to me like that anymore. Right? That's the issue with humanity. I'm not saying disrespect your people, but if they're gaslighting you, continuously using passive-aggressive tactics, stuff like that, you're not meant to be in that relationship, even if they're so-called blood. You guys, it's called karmics. What is a karmic? Karmic is someone who is meant to be there to shine a light on something that you need to address in yourself. Because you guys, everyone in the universe is or everyone else is a projection of you. They are a piece of you. I know it's deep, but everyone, it's like that mirroring effect. Especially if I can spot it in you, it's because I got it. So when you come from that vantage point, it's very empowering. But at first, it's going to trigger the shit out of you, man. A lot of the times, people who are not prepared to hear what I have to say, because I'm going to cut through the BS, because I need to get to the heart space. All the other stuff is flattery, or it's surface level. I need to get to your heart so you can. I need you to experience the pain. We need to bring out that pain first, address it, and then we see shit. It's a problem, and then we change it. Because our mind wants to go into comfort a lot of the times. We don't like, it's chaotic to us to get out of that what we're comfortable with, even if that comfort is chaos. So I don't know why it's coming out a little different for you guys, Scorpios, but this is probably because it's going to make sense to some of you guys, resonate with you guys on some level. So the first wave will fall away immediately once you start making. They're not going to like you. And they're like, I'm not dealing with his ass. He thinks he's all that, or he wants attention. That's the same things that they're going to say to you guys. Then there's the second wave. They're a little bit smarter. I call these the true karmics. You guys, these people want something from you. Whether you know it or not, wherever you're at in your ascension process, everything goes back and equates back to energy. Everything is energy. You wouldn't exist without it. But you produce a certain energy. Especially if you're chosen, especially you have a path on this earth. Believe it. Some people, I'll just equate this to the human design. You generate energy a lot stronger. And a lot of the times, if you're walking this path of spirituality, you have some qualities that are good. You run with ethics, moral code. You have a moral compass. Probably even if you did shit in the past, you probably felt really bad about it, and you probably went back and made amends, right? Because it didn't sit well with you. Shit, that's one of the issues that I had with at a certain point in my alcoholism. I started wounding people, and I would carry that guilt like a freaking badge of honor, and it wasn't. It was painful, right? So I know how it works for us, right? And so I say it like this, you guys: the currency on Earth that we do abide by is money, but the first currency is actually energy. And you produce a certain energy, and they're addicted to it, but they'll never admit that to you. see you as something where they have to keep you low and in prison to keep you in that. And you guys, it shows up in many different ways. Maybe it's money that controls you. I've seen that in people. For me, they had to dim my light and make me feel like I was less than. And they did a really good job of it because they did it as a team. They couldn't stop me with just one. They had to do it with a community of people. That's how it evolved in my situation, Scorpio. So maybe that is how it happened with you. Now, I'm going to give you the bad news. There's going to be a point where you're going to have to decide to walk away completely. For me, I had to walk away from everybody. I don't hang out with them anymore. I can't because it's too toxic. And you guys, a lot of them are still in their addictions. And I can't be around that stuff, right? And it's nothing against them. Now there's this point where you have to honor yourself, your own authenticity. How do you do that? If you are spiritual, be spiritual. Be around the community of like-minded individuals. Well, how do I do that? You have to go find what it is that you're doing, right? For me, it's a tarot community. I have to be around tarot readers. So that's what I do. I associate myself with readers. I associate myself in spiritual communities. And you will attract that once you start putting that intention out there, right? If you are in Reiki, go get certified for Reiki. You're going to meet Reiki people, right? If you want to be a millionaire, you got to be around millionaires, right? You got to start adapting to that millionaire mindset. You have to have that millionaire code of ethics. So you have to go do and honor yourself. If you feel like you need to be a doula, go be a doula. Right? There's many different things in the spiritual world. There's an infinite amount of possibilities. Only you know what that dream is. It's burned in your heart. So once you honor it, you guys, just know this, judgment. After this judgment, we'll get into the cards. The Band-Aid that I have to rip off for you guys is this. Everything that you're doing in this first stage is preparing you for later stages. And we'll get to that, you guys. There's a point right now where I'm talking about some of the stuff that I'm talking about crippled me before. I couldn't even look at a camera. I couldn't even look at other people. I couldn't speak about my pain. I was embarrassed about it. So there was a level of healing to it, right? So I need to get you to the point where I get you out of the toxic environment. That's what I'm trying to do for you. I'm trying to activate you on that level. Also, it doesn't end. It's not gonna. It started with your family. It started with your friends. Started out with your lovers, but it's not going to end there. It's just going to show up in a different variation. So, just know that your biggest fear is going to come true. For me, my biggest fear and you guys, 2 years and 3 months later, like 2 weeks ago, I had a girl, old army buddy, call me and say that I was mentally ill. And of course, she did it in a passive-aggressive way and very intelligent about the way she said it. She said, "Oh, we're mentally ill. Don't worry about it." And she laughed at me that I did tarot. Doesn't agree with my spiritual walk, right? So that tells you something. And that's what I'm saying, you guys. It's not going to stop. There's some people who, and you have to think about it. Who would call? And I haven't talked to this person in a long time. Who calls and says stuff like that? It's because a part of them is hurting, and then they see me healing, and they need to either. It goes back to energy, guys. They need their energy fix, and unfortunately, I gave some to that person, but it is what it is, man. Maybe they needed it more than I did. But I'll say it like this, you guys. Your biggest fears are going to come true. The people around me ended up ostracizing me, but they've been ostracizing me my whole life, and they've probably been doing it to you too, as Scorpios. So I'll say it like this. Push through that fear. Do your best to walk away. It's going to take a long time for you to get to that point, but you're going to come to the realization. I'm just the one that's going to plant the seed for you. Scorpios, let's get into your read. Spirit, what do we have for Scorpios? I will be reading out of the books. I like using these decks because the level of these the people that created them, they're very spiritual, very advanced too. So, Spirit, what do we have for Scorpio? Thank you. So we have on the bottom of the deck, you are the universe, and then we have 13 insight. So you guys are moving through a lot of transformation right now. So let's address the bottom of the deck energy first. You are the universe. You could be 29 years old or in your late 20s. Of course, you guys Scorpios could be at any age here. I like this. It says you are the universe. Maybe you guys resonate with what I said about having a past, or you grew up in a family that maybe you're Christian, or just a heavy religious belief system, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, you guys. I still deem myself a Christian. I'm just a Christian / spiritualist, right? Like some of the teachings and the moral codes and ethics I have is because of freaking Master Yeshua or Jesus, right? Or Paul. The disciple Paul, Matthew, the Old Testament. A lot of my wisdom comes from the Bible. Like, I don't deny it. I just don't agree with the programming anymore. And then I came to a point where I needed to expand my knowledge. I realized that saying that Buddhists are wrong, or Hinduism is wrong, or Jews are wrong, it ends up becoming a team sport, as opposed to all of us having a vast knowledge, a well that you can tap into. That's what happened to me, you guys. I realized, wait a minute, I want to know what the Torah says. I want to know what is this mysticism, the Kabbalah. What is esotericism? And I started looking it all up, and then I realized I agree with this stuff, right? I agree with Buddhist traditions, Chinese medicine, Hinduism, right? I liked the mantras. I liked these Hindu gods, right? Shiva, what is it? Braha? Oh, I can't forget his name. Shiva, Braha, or whatever. I'm forgetting it right now. But or Mahakali, Mahalakshmi, right? And I do chants now. So you ask yourself, wait, how did you get to that point? And so there's going to be a point, you guys, where you have to understand this. Everything in the universe is meant to be here. Everything is not a coincidence. Everything, even within actions, like, you have to think, why are there different cultures? Why is there different ideas? If you put all of it together, can you imagine how powerful we would be as people? Like, separation keeps us weak. That goes without saying. I mean, those are principles that are behind war. Like, me being a soldier and reading certain books and just knowing tactics, like the best way to keep a person weak is to keep their information level low, or keep them with the wisdom and knowledge to a place where they're not able to they're just not smart enough, right? Also, another way is to conquer and divide, keep people separated or isolated. You're probably like, dude, what is this guy on? No, you guys, it's because I'm tapped in right now. You are the universe means that everything in the universe is you. You are energy. It goes back to energy, right? Everything is accessible. And just because you can't see the kingdom, what kingdom do you think that is? To me, it looks a lot like Yeshua right here, right? And that's you right there, Scorpio, sitting with Yeshua in the kingdom. We have access to this source energy. Even this kingdom has the angels on the top of here, right? I want you to know is that you have access to all of it. It takes a certain point to get there, but they want you to know that you have a higher self, that there is something grander about you. Scorpios, maybe you guys are starting to look into other faiths. It's not because you want to change your religion, but there's things that you need to recognize. For me, you guys, I recognize that most religions have a pattern to them. I was like, wait a minute. It's like the Father, the Son, the Holy Spirit. And then you had, the Trinity, right? And then you had the mind, body, and spirit with some of the Asian cultures. And I was like, wait a minute. And why are there 3 gods within Hinduism? And I was like, the pattern started to show itself to me. And I recognized, wait a minute. But there wasn't anything wrong with what any of these cultures were saying. I agree and resonate with it on a very deep level. But then I realized, wait a minute, there's something more here. It is a program. All of them are programs. And so maybe that's what's happening with you. And you have to remember this, you guys. This isn't the first time you've been here. And that maybe you'll get a lot from past life regression. This is how you'll know, you guys. If you pick up on a different culture, or like maybe you guys watch. I'll show you guys an example. If you guys watch watch a, let's say you watch a movie and it's not your culture, but you resonate with on a deep level. For me, it's like the Vikings, or it's like Roman culture or Greek culture. It's like, to me, that shit resonates on a deep level. Like, I was like, dude, I can see myself with the shield battling. Like, I felt like I've been in war many times before, right? And go figure, in this lifetime, I went to war, right? I went to Afghanistan. It was a different type of war, but I have that war within me. It's because I've done it in a past life. So go look past life regression is something that may help you guys. I'm channeling right now. Also mantras. So for me, and it's so weird because when people were like, dude, how do you even know how to do that? And I was like, for me, I don't know. It's just, you guys, when you start tapping in, things will come to you. I call it like everything is, I just had a download today. All information is accessible because it's in the ethers. It's at source. So it's kind of like a radio wave. You can't get the station unless you tune into the radio wave. You have to get to a certain point mentally, but you got to clear away the garbage first. That's i.e. what I told you before, people, places, and things, and then you got to get the garbage away out of yourself. I'll explain that later as I go with the Fridays. But for me, it might help you guys too to calm down, is mantras, and usually they run in 108. So these mantras, I learned this within Hinduism or Hindu. It's like our Indian culture. One was Mahalakshmi, so Om Shri Mahalakshmi Ye Namaha. That is one, and then you say that 108 times. But like, you can follow it on YouTube. You can find these. You guys just say prosperity mantras or relaxation mantras, and before you know it, you'll catch on. There's Mahakali. I remember the first time when I started doing this, I actually had an altering experience or a vision where I actually saw this goddess. So I believe in this stuff completely, guys. It was Om Kali Maha Kali Kali Ke Parmeswari. That's all I remember. But you see what I'm saying, you guys? I'm talking in a language that I don't fully understand, but I know it on an intimate level, a deep soul level, because maybe I lived in an Indian culture before. Right? So there's something to be said about past life regression. I don't know why I went into that deep, but it's going to resonate for somebody. It's going to help somebody. Maybe you're trying to get prosperity, and one of those ways is through mantras. Insight. It's what I've been showing you. Maybe it's because I needed to show you guys how to do it. Insight comes in many different ways. If you're a body of energy, which is the depiction of this card, also, you guys, if you're a female or even male, in your sacral chakra, as you see where I'm pointing, you're being healed there. So if you are mating with other people, you can get them pregnant, or you can get pregnant very easily. Just know that, because you're healing, and you're healing energy centers, the stomach area, the solar plexus area, and your crown is on fire. You're going to tap in pretty soon, and when you tap in, these insights are going to come in. With this card showing itself, and we have 13, the number 13 is transformation. So you're about to have this shift. And mark my words, after this reading, you seeing this card, and everything that I'm saying, you guys, is an activation. I'm activating you on a DNA, cellular level. You're going to start receiving insights in ways that you didn't think possible. Let's see the book meaning for this, and then we'll move into White Light Oracle. 13. We have refine your psychic senses. Obviously, guys, it goes without saying. Let's move into this real quick. In order to receive insights, remember I told you have to get your mind to a certain place. A lot of the times we have to get our mind, our body, and our spirit in the same place. Our spirit is already there, but our mind and body have to follow suit. And all three of those platforms of which how the human works. In order for us to start receiving information, we have to relax our mind. Often we're just too distracted, we're too fearful, we're too angry, we're too sad. All those things are in our mind, and it clogs us up, right? we have to start figuring out how to clear the crown chakra, starting to clear the third eye, open the third eye, open the crown chakra, and then we'll get to these places of insight. But you guys, there are actually scientific processes to this. I was getting downloads of this today, but I'm channeling like gamma waves. There's different waves of wavelengths in which our mind, there's certain states that our mind reaches when we are in those meditative states, and that's how you start receiving information. I say this, you guys, with absolute certainty. If you set an intention on a question, like you say in a meditative state, I set the intention of knowing. Let's say you think that you were adopted at a certain age. Ask it. I set the intentions of knowing if I was adopted. That answer will come to you. You gotta trust the answers that come. There's a process to it, but there's a certain way to get there. Let's see what the book meaning means. It says, "You are about to see further, higher, and deeper through space and time. Your psychic skills are expanding and seeing through the lens of your soul. Hone your abilities by reading about or doing a workshop on an intuitive development. We are all psychic. It is part of who we are. We just have to trust, or we have to thrust this ability into the background in favor of other senses." Meaning, we trust in the 5 senses as opposed to our 6 senses. And 6th sense is versatile. Many subcategories of that 6th sense, right? Clairaudient, clairsentient. Go check out the clairs if you don't know what that means. Go look up clairaudience, clairsentient. It's a way that we receive connection through the spirit realm. It says problems occur when we keep looking at the manifested world for proof of our worth. Ooh, isn't that the truth? You've been searching for your worth through the people around you. I get it, man. Validation is something it's huge within our culture. We want to be validated. You are worthy because you are here. There's nothing to prove. You could become an intuitive reader if that's something that you desire. It could also mean you are learning to trust what you feel, and the next steps to take will drop into your mind in the following days. Yeah, so it's a level of trusting yourself, you guys, and they're also letting you know that you might possibly be a heavy channeler, or you're receiving insights through vision. Also, you're an energy worker. You have your Kundalini energy has been activated as well. You're radiating. You guys, you have to remember this, man. When we see things in a certain vision as people, like, think about it like this is the best way I can probably explain it. Like, you think about like X-ray vision, right? They can see something past our skin. They can see our bones, right? Look at like a thermal vision, where they can see the heat radiating off of you. I believe that I don't want to. How do I say this without setting off alarms or alerts? I believe that there's a camera that can look at us and see the energy sources that radiate off of us. At some point, I believe if they don't have it, they're going to make it. Maybe I'm going to push that. But they're going to be able to see, or there are human beings that can see these energy sources, right? We call this auric fields, right? When someone comes up to you, ever meet those really woohoo people, spiritual people who say, "Oh wow, your aura is gray or blue." It's because they could probably see that shit, you guys, because it's a reality. Chakra systems, it all goes back to something, right? You radiate in this color, and it's probably a different color from most people. You shine brightly. There are people that see this, you guys, and not all of them are high vibrational. There's low vibrational people, like I told you before. Let's go back to the essence of your family dynamic. Most people, and I had a hard time with this too, you guys. I love my family, man. I don't want to look at them in a bad light, and a lot of the times I let them scapegoat me. I let them because I was like, I'm strong enough, whatever. Like, I don't give a shit what people say. Like, I'll get in trouble for you, whatever. I was that type of person, but it got taken advantage and stepped on too much at some point, right? Maybe that's what you've done. Well, the issue, you guys, is that, check this out. If you have these powers, it is a high likelihood that some of your family members have them too, right? Maybe not all of them, or maybe they don't even know that they have them yet, but they have them. But maybe they're utilizing their power in a bad way. Now, I just showed you the outward expression. Let's look at the inward expression. Oftentimes, let's go back because I didn't tell you guys, Scorpios. Look at judgment. The reason why, remember I said, if you can spot it, you got it. The reason why oftentimes we can see in others what we can't see in ourselves. So if you see it, like I can spot in my family all this shit. And there was a point where I was like, dude, they're bastards. They did this, they did that, they did this, they did that. And I stuck in that cycle for a very long time. And then I realized, wait a minute, so do I. Then I had to take 100% accountability for my own actions. I realized that I was stuck in a cycle. And then when I got out of it, I realized, damn, I'm not such a good person either. I have a dark side to me, right? Because we all do have a dark and a light side. And I was utilizing my power in ways before where I realized I was hindering people, keeping people oppressed. You guys, why do you think I have this wisdom? Why do you think that I'm able to speak about this stuff? Because I've done it on some level. I can see it. When I see it, it's because I see it in myself and I don't like it oftentimes. That's usually why we get angry or we get triggered, because we don't want to hear it. The pain that we have in us, or the thing that we think that we don't have, starts coming to the light, and we don't want, our ego wants us to hide that shit. Okay, so it's very insightful what I just said right now, right? And I put all that together because that's what you guys are going to be doing, or you are already doing it. Acknowledge this. And trust what comes to you guys. You guys, I'm not going to get into... Actually, I'm going to pull one card for you guys. Let me shuffle. Because we're already at 41 minutes. Actually, I'll make you guys' reading a little bit longer. I'm going to cut it and then pick the top one. We have... Oh my gosh. Telepathy of Terra Mater. Yeah, you guys pick up on people's wavelengths. Oftentimes, you guys, I'm gonna trip you out on something. How do I say this? Telepathy, all this stuff, psychic, astral travel, all this shit is real, whether you believe it or not. And there are people that pick up on what you're saying. I've tested it on people, and I've heard it as well. Oftentimes, I can hear people like on a low level. It just comes to me of what they're saying about me, or what's going on. It doesn't happen all the time, and I can't access it. But when there was moments in my life where I was in danger, and I could hear these people saying certain things, and I recognized, wait a minute, like this person's like the enemy, and I didn't realize it. And I don't want to get too intricate with it, but I'm saying all that, you guys, because you have access to this. You can see auras. Also, you pick up on wavelengths from other people. Let's see 36. Maybe at the age of 36, this is going to be enhanced. You could be 36. Let's see. It says telepathy of Terra Mater. The pathway for spiritual fulfillment and the sacred manifestation of your purpose is not necessarily logical and will evolve organically. You guys, everything that I talk about on these Fridays, sometimes it's going to just go over your head. And I'm just meant to plant the seed, because at some point it's going to show itself again. And what a lot of the times what universe does is trying to plant a seed primarily, and then they're going to try to cycle through with you and show you multiple times of this information, so you can come to your own truths about it, right? Remember, everything that you what you put your focus on, that is your reality. Oftentimes, a lot of people don't understand this. The power of human beings is to set your focus on something in life. So the people that are in power need your attention to be on a certain thing. So if they put your attention on fear, the community will be in fear. Right? That's when we start to distance ourselves from humanity. As people, we start to separate ourselves. But if we put our attention to love, we would be together now, wouldn't we? Let's move on from that, though. What I'm trying to tell you guys is that oftentimes it's not logical. A lot of people, when I talk about this stuff, it's like, dude, like, where are you getting this from? It's pretty intelligent, and then sometimes people just want to say you're crazy, right? Because they don't understand it. What you're saying doesn't make sense. It's because it takes a certain level, and you'll get there, is what I'm saying, and I know you will get there. all these concepts, you guys, it's a ladder, and it's all these ladders are spiral, and all of them are connected. Every subject matter, no matter however you put it, they're all interwoven. Whew, let's move on. The skillful and unpredictable workings of the Earth Mother are supporting your soul journey unconditionally. Follow up on inspired ideas and allow your unexpected shifts in direction are integral to the manifestation of your soul purpose. Commit to an idea that feels good to your heart. Even if it seems improbable or unattainable, it will manifest successfully. You guys, that level right there is telling you what the life process is all about. All I'm trying to get you guys to get to the point is that you follow your dreams, that you follow your soul purpose. It says it right here, you guys. They want you to look at the unexpected shifts in direction are integral to the manifestation of your soul purpose. Most people don't realize that they were made for a specific purpose on this earth. I thank the heavens, thank God, and thank my guides that got me to this place where I know what my purpose is on this earth. It's communication. I am meant to empower other people. I am meant to empower them not to cause war, but to cause them to stop warring with themselves. Right? Get people out of these positions of just my story, what I went through. It's a lot of people, and I know a lot of people that ended their life or just couldn't make it through it. I don't want to see people suffer anymore. I want to see people get to a place where they embody this power, this love light source, right? And then they get to this place where they heal themselves. I don't care where you came from or what has happened to you. You can get to the point where you heal from it and then stand in your power. Ideally, your sole purpose is to communicate, or it is to make something that changes humanity in a positive upbringing or uplifting way, right? And you have to understand is that you have a life purpose. You are chosen. You are special. Especially if you're on my channel, I promise you that. Each mother, I'm going to read the rest of this and then we'll call it a reading, you guys. It says, Earth Mother, or Terra Mater in Latin, is so much more than a physical being. She is also a goddess of great spiritual development, not to mention creative pizzazz. As a masterful practitioner of artful evolution, she creates butterflies from caterpillars, massive oak trees from marvelously odd little acorns, and a radiant soul from the flesh of a human infused with the internal spirit. Her mind-bending skill in the miraculous magic of evolutionary manifestation can be relied upon to evoke far greater sublime beauty and rapturous delight than even the most inspired human imagination can conjure. As a sacred feminine being, she knows how to nurture the essence of all beings into fulfillment. She knows what your soul is divinely intended to become and what you need to meet your destiny. She has the resources and wisdom to support each soul in such a way that there is a benefit for all beings. This is the applied genius of ecosystem intelligence. It is the antithesis of the lone wolf mentality of the ego and the heartwarming, spiritually empowering reality that none of us is in this alone. It's beautiful. We can learn to feel held in the unity consciousness. I'm sorry, you guys. I'm like receiving a download. This is weird. I don't know why I'm saying this, but the download as I was reading this, it was like, and maybe that's why they want you to receive insight in certain ways. Sometimes it's a book that gives you the insight. The download that I just got is, so like when you have stuff like the rapture, like stuff like raptures, like where like, or like mass amount of people die, or like the Great Flood and stuff like that. Think about like this in the evolution of animals, because it was talking about evolution. I know it's kind of a strange thing to talk about, but like, think about like life experiences. Some people resonate with past life regression. I think I said this to you guys. You'll get a lot from this. Imagine you doing this like 1,000 times, lifetime after lifetime. It means that you have access to information. You have access to other lifetimes. So there's a deep soul. And also this all is talking about information. When you think about how fast fast something grows, it is the process of the birth and the death cycle. So just know, I guess what I'm trying to say is that just know that, like, even Mother Nature has her cycles. God has his cycles. Like when we say something like God, that I feel like that's just a specific name or a specific idea. Think about just the universe in their cycles. There's so much more to this. I think I just want you to start opening your mind to like the access of information that's out there. Anyways, let's keep going. It says we can learn to feel held in the unity consciousness. I didn't say everything that came into my download because I'm not supposed to. Understanding that we have our own special role in the greater scheme of things. This is likely involve a process of healing past wounds and abandonment. This is the issue here, you guys. This is likely involve a process of healing past wounds of abandonment, neglect, and betrayal. Such healing allows us to gently cleanse the heart and settle into life with more trust and peace. You guys, when you're in peace and love, and you honor this process of healing, you'll start to look different. You'll start to feel different. You'll start to talk different. When your mind isn't obsessed anymore about being in pain or being betrayed or feeling guilt or feeling shame, that's what I always say is speak your truth, be honest. When you start to let go of the things that people did to you or the things that you did, that takes the poison out of your body. It literally takes it away. That's why I'm so truthful now about everything that I've done and the things that I do. I try to be as honest as possible because that shit you hold on to, we keep that stuff and it clogs us up. Anyways, it says, we will understand that we will fulfill our own heart. We are contributing towards the fulfillment of our hearts. We will recognize at a deep intuitive cellular level, right there, you guys, I just picked up on that when I was talking to you guys before, cellular level, that our soul fulfillment is never just about us individuals. Whenever there's a genuine spiritual win, every being benefits. Egos may not like it. Like I just said, I was going to say that these floods, Mother Nature will bring floods to take people off the planet that don't need to be here anymore. That's what I didn't want to say because it's a heavy concept, right? But a lot of the times you got to imagine this, you guys. If say that there is a group of many evil people and they get taken off the earth, it brings peace to the planet, right? It takes that vibration off of our earth. So you have to remember, I don't think that I'm supposed to be saying this. Just remember that even like in chaos, or even in chaos, that everything is planned. Everything has a plan, right? All this is for you guys. Your reading is going to be called information download, because when you guys start receiving the information and you get tapped in, you guys are going to start getting these insights out of nowhere. It's going to baffle you at first, but I'm preparing you for that. It says, egos may not like it. They may feel jealous or denied. That's the reason why I talk about the people around you, because they are jealous of you and they feel denied, or you shine in such a way that they feel in lack, and will likely whinge and whine and perhaps try to undermine your spiritual progress by labeling your work as selfish or deluded or irrelevant. And they will. I promise you that they will. That is what egos do. Best to notice it. Have compassion for it. And you have to have compassion. You'll get to that place as well, you guys. It says, then ignore it and get on with your sacred task. Boom. I'm going to leave it there, you guys. I feel like Spirit freaking just showed you exactly what I was just saying the whole time, tied it in. Just, you're in the process of healing. And I'll say it like this. I ended it with another zodiac. I'll end your reading like this. I want you to get into the place right now where you are walking your path. But in order to walk your path, you have to let go of the people around you that are keeping you in the same spot, because that's what they want to do, whether they know it on a conscious level or the subconscious level. So I'm getting you to the place now where you're going to have to, and the hardest part, you guys, is programming. Understand the mind, how it works. As humans, we're easily programmed, and you're routine oriented. Any human being can get used to chaos, even if they don't like the chaos. And then you get so comfortable with it is you don't want to change out of it. This is how I'll tell you guys, explain this. And it all goes back to cycle work, insight, information downloads. When I was in the military, one of the things I recognized is that it's like the whole embrace the suck, right? It's like, and it does suck, you guys, doing repetitive stuff, being yelled at, going to war, the miserable feeling of, you guys, I think I went on something like 500 and something plus missions. Like, what human does that in a year? You know what I mean? Like, we're not meant to do shit like that as a human being. The stuff that I've seen, the things that, just the level of people that the caliber of people that you go through, it's miserable. But I got completely comfortable in that environment. What does that tell you? That's just the dramatic expression of, like, you can get comfortable of being in an abusive situation. You can get comfortable with bad ideas. It's hard to recognize that you've been programmed until you get out of that and see from a higher perspective. You don't even know that you're in the cycle. But I feel like I'm activating you guys, and you guys are going to be able to see in a different light. Just know you guys are about to receive insights like crazy. I'm going to leave you guys' reading there, you guys. Scorpios, it's been fantastic. I will catch you guys in the daily tomorrow. If you guys like the video, guys, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.